Hi, in today's video, I'm going to share the 3 key things that I think has helped propel my nursing career over the last 20 years. Hello, hi, welcome. My name's Sabrina Phillips, and for those of you who are new here, I am a managing director in the NHS. And for those of you that have been here a while, you'll notice that I've had a change in title. So I've moved jobs, but I'll do another video about that another time. But today I was just reflecting on the fact that I recently received a £200 voucher for working in the NHS for 20 years. And I thought, wow, from being a newly qualified band grade D nurse to now being a very senior management position, I just wanted to reflect on 3 of the key things I thought brought me from there to here. And I hope you'll find this helpful in terms of your own career and how you think about it. So the first thing I thought about was my mindset. And the reason why I say mindset, I think it's really important that whenever we think about a career in nursing, you have a mindset that's a growth mindset. So you're always thinking about how you can improve patient care, how you can better yourself, and how you can grow into the role, because you wouldn't know everything on day one. And the reason why I said mindset, I remember when I was a student, I already had the idea of where I wanted to work in year 2 of my training, but even more so, I had a plan in terms of where I wanted to be in 5 years. So already I was thinking about growth in my career. The other thing I think about the mindset bit, and I've only learned this over the years, and I remember this when I was a quality improvement facilitator, working in a quality improvement team. And our lead at that time always said to us, he said, our job is to do ourselves out of a job. So I've always since then sort of gone forward with that thinking. And the reason why I think this is a mindset shift is whichever role I'm in, I'm always thinking about how I support the next person to be me in this role. I'm never ever thinking that this is the Sabrina show. I'm thinking about how I can come in, do the things I need to do, make it better, and then hand it over to the next person or start growing the next person in my team. So that's something you might want to think of, having a mindset of growth, thinking about your career in more of a longitudinal way. But also when you're in a role, think about how you can improve it, how you can make it better, but how you support others below you to be able to take that role. So you sort of grow out of that role into your next one. And the other one about mindset is about being able to take opportunities when they come. And when I say that, for those of you who've been here, and I've done other videos where I've talked about my career journey, when I look back at it, I've taken secondments, I've taken fixed term contracts, I've moved sideways. So there's something around looking around and thinking, oh, this is something I'm interested in, and this is something I'm gonna go for. So those are the first bit about mindset, and the 3 key things that I think will really help you to propel your career. The second one is sort of linked to the first, and this is around lifelong learning. For those of us, when you are in your nurse training, that's the key thing. You get told that, you learn new things every day. And again, when you come out of your nurse training, you have a grounding in nursing, and in every job you will work in, you will learn things, but you will also note that there are things that are missing in what you know. So I always have learned on the job, because I think that's important. You can't know anything by putting into practice what you've learned. So for example, I know I've had roles where I was practice development nurse, and part of that I learned quite a lot in terms of how to be not only a practice development nurse, but I was also the deputy ward manager as well, which meant I had to learn things like how I did return to work, investigating complaints. That's not something I did as a band 5 nurse, so I went on the relevant training, or put my hand up to do things when they came up. So there was a bit of doing the practical bits, doing it, and then seeing, oh, I'm not sure, finding out who you need to ask for advice, or whether that's your manager, whether that's HR, just thinking about who else has done this that I can get support from. That's learning on the job. Then the other bit might be looking at your skill sets and thinking, oh, I need X. So again, a job I did was around education and practice lead for a pathway, and I realized quite quickly, because I needed to do develop training and deliver training. Yes, I had done some of this within my nurse training. It's things that you do. You read a policy, you do a session on it, but I didn't really have the fundamentals of how you needed to do a training plan. You know, what's the purpose, what things you have to get in it, how do you make sure you get the objectives. So one of the key things I did, not only did I learn on the job, I also went and did a qualification in how to teach and support healthcare professionals. So there's something about how you build on the skills that you have, but also going and doing the relevant trainings that you could bring it back. And I was able to do things like develop simulation training with the simulation service in the trust I worked with. Also developed training with our recovery college work, co-producing with service users about an assessment that we're doing. So I was then able to take that learning, that training that I did, and bring it back into practice. And I think even today I use some of it. I might not deliver training, but I deliver presentations. I'm always thinking about my audience, thinking about what are the key messages I want to get through to them. And even in this YouTube channel, thinking about, again, how can I get my key points off? So lifelong learning is important, and you learn new things every day. Even in this role, I'm always learning, I'm always tapping into others, I'm always asking, and that's how you develop that lifelong learning muscle, by asking, by being curious, by checking, and by putting your hand up and saying, I don't know, because there's no shame in not knowing. We can't know everything. And the third thing I think that's really helped, and you do it from wherever you are in your nursing, so whether you're a student, whether you're a newly qualified nurse, and whether you're in a place like me, you'll always have a mentor. You should have a mentor. If you don't, do get one. The other thing I found really helpful was coaching as well. So I'll go back to the mentoring bit. So again, going back to that lifelong learning, I was privileged enough to have a mentorship qualification, and I think most nurses are coming out with that. But for me, it's important to mentor and support the people behind me coming up and sharing my experience with them. So hopefully it will help them not to make the mistakes that I do. And I hope by having this channel, it's a way of mentoring as well. The other thing I've found really helpful, especially as I move through the different bandings, was coaching. And there's two types of coaching. So I've done coaching for interview prep, which has been extremely helpful in me thinking about how I present myself, how I come across. But in my current role, I'll be taking on coaching in terms of how I make sure that I have the right impact and influence as I come across. So there's different levels of coaching, but I think if you're able to and you can, do get a mentor and do get some coaching, and it might be for specific things that you're doing. I even have a coaching qualification as well, so I try to use a coaching stance in my supervision, in how I interact with others. And part of coaching is really listening deeply, really listening, and trying not to have the answers for people, but asking curious questions that would help them to unlock the answers that is very much within them. The other bit that you then learn, I have learnt about as I've got to these heady heights, is having sponsors and allies, and that's people who are aware of your work. So we all work very hard where we are. We do amazing things, and what's important is that we share what we're doing with others, so that they know when they get Sabrina what to expect. But that then enables them to think about you for other roles that are coming up, or even put you forward for things. That's the sponsorship bit. And the allyship bit is it's more where you've got somebody that is walking alongside you and will help to open doors, open spaces where that's not available to you. So if you can, find somebody that would sponsor you or be on a program where, you are with the key players in your organizations, whether that's some sort of internal leadership course or external leadership course, because I've been really fortunate to NHS leadership course, Florence Nightingale course for emerging leaders, which has put me in contact with some amazing people who have really, really helped in terms of mentoring and coaching to get me to where I am. And because I always like to give extra, one of the bonus tips that I think has really helped me to get to where I am, but also not about just getting me to where I am, it's about keeping us sane. I read there was an article, I think, in The Guardian where our young nurses, so age 21 to 30, were not as happy in their roles as those that were a bit older were. And I thought that was quite a sad thing, because I remember when I was a new nurse, I felt I had a really good structure around me, really good support. And I think partly maybe because I did, again, at the time I did a rotation, so I had lots of people. I had a group of 10 or 12 other colleagues who I could tap into, and hence the fourth bonus I'm giving you is about your network. So thinking about who are the key people that you can go to for advice, for support, just to offload, and that could be your family, that could be your friends, that could be associations. We've got like the RCN, we've got the NMC, and they might have smaller arms, but there might be other networks that you want to join as well, such as I've been fortunate enough to be part of the Caribbean Nursing and Midwives Association committee, and they're another network I can tap into. I'm even thinking about developing my own network in terms of supporting nurses as well. So I think it's important that you build your own network. So it's think about who's around you that can offer that support. Who do you have those relationships with? Because when you get to these heady heights, you do need somebody that you can go to and you can say, this is what's going on, and they can go there. This is what I think you should do. I just listen, because sometimes that's all you need somebody to do. So I hope those 4 tips, or just 4 things that I've learned over the last 20 years of being a nurse in the NHS, that has helped me propelled my nurse career from a D grade nurse or band 5 to now what is a VSM or very senior management role within the NHS. Do like, comment, share. Do let me know if anything that I've said resonated with you, if there's anything you'd want me to expand on. And also, if you want to know about my new role as a managing director and how I get it, do let me know below as well, because I could do a video on that. And it just leaves me to say to you, be bold and brave, and I'll see you on the next one.